I used to think money advice had to sound new to be useful. But this book is almost 100 years old, and it still says what most people need to hear. If you keep spending everything, you stay stuck. That is the whole trap. What makes this book stand out to me is how simple it is. It does not try to impress me. It just tells the truth through short stories set in ancient Babylon. And here is the strange part. The setting is old, but the money problems feel very current. People still earn money, waste money, chase money, and worry about money. So the book is not really about Babylon. It is about habits. It is about what happens when I stop hoping money will fix itself and start paying attention to where it goes. That is why this classic still works. It does not give me noise. It gives me rules. And for a lot of people, that is exactly what they need. The clearest lesson in the whole book is this: save first, spend what is left, not the other way around. That sounds almost too simple, but I think that is why it matters. Most people wait to save after every bill, every meal, every want, and every random little purchase. Then there is nothing left. The book says to take a piece of your money first and keep it, even a small part. That is how wealth starts. What I like about this idea is that it does not depend on being rich already. It depends on a decision. If I get paid and move a little money away before I touch the rest, I am building a habit that protects me from myself. And this is where it gets real. I do not need a perfect budget to begin. I need one small rule I can repeat. Save a part first, then live on the rest. That is a quiet change, but it can change everything. The book keeps showing me one hard truth. When income goes up, spending often goes up too. That is the sneaky part. People think they have a money problem, but sometimes they have a spending habit. This is where the book talks about wants and needs, and I think that still hits home now. A new phone, more subscriptions, eating out a little too much, upgrading fast just because I can. None of these things feel huge by themselves, but together, they eat the money that could have built safety. What stands out to me here is that the book is not asking for misery. It is asking for control. That is different. It is not saying live like you have nothing. It is saying decide what matters before your money disappears. For me, this is one of those quiet life lessons. If I do not tell my money where to go, it will leave on its own. And once I see that, I can stop calling it bad luck.
Here is the deeper point. Saving money is good, but leaving it idle forever is not the full plan. The book says gold should multiply. In modern words, money should be put to work. I like this idea because it changes the goal. I am not just trying to gather money. I am trying to build something that keeps growing. That is the difference between a pile of cash and a stream of income. One sits there, the other does work. The book does not get technical here, and I think that helps. It is not telling me to become an expert overnight. It is telling me to think long term. Saved money has a job. It can grow when it is used wisely and patiently. And this is where many people get stuck. They save a little, then leave it alone, or they rush into random choices. The book says neither path is smart. Keep some, learn how it works, be patient. That is how money starts to build on itself.
One of the strongest warnings in the book is simple. Do not chase fast money. Do not trust every promise. Do not put your savings into things you do not understand. I think this is one of the most useful parts, because a lot of people do not lose money from being lazy. They lose it from being hopeful in the wrong place. They hear a big promise, feel pressure, and jump too fast. The book says, slow down. What I like here is the balance. It is not saying fear every chance. It is saying protect your base. Ask questions. Learn the risk. Get help from people who know more than you do. That is not weakness. That is wisdom. Here is the weird part.
A lot of money mistakes are not about math. They're about emotion. Greed, fear, shame, impatience. This book knows that, so it keeps repeating the same idea in different ways. If I want to keep what I earn, I have to guard it carefully.
The book ends with a truth I really respect. Wealth is not only about money sitting in an account, it is also about what I can earn, what I can learn, and how I choose to grow. That matters because it gives me more than one path forward. If I cannot save much yet, I can still get better. I can build skills. I can become more reliable. I can make better choices. I can become someone who earns more because I bring more value. That is why this book feels so practical to me. It does not flatter me. It gives me a path. Save a part. Spend less than I earn. Grow what I keep. Avoid foolish risks. Keep learning. These are simple rules, but simple does not mean weak. If I had to say the whole message in one line, it would be this. Money grows when I treat it with care and treat myself like I am worth improving. If this helped, subscribe to the 5-Minute Shelf for more clear and useful book breakdowns. I read books like this because I know what it feels like to need clarity, not noise.